All right, mathematicians, we are starting a new unit called Accentuate the Negative. We're going to be talking about positive and negative numbers. You're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, doing all kinds of activities with them. Sometimes people think a number line helps them a lot. Other times people choose to think about money, like owing money and having money. You can visualize any method you like that helps you. We're going to be working on lesson 1.1. And in this, there's a math class that's playing a game. And it's kind of like a Jeopardy board if you've ever seen the TV show Jeopardy. And on it are a bunch of integers. And remember, integers can be positive or negative numbers. And right now we have all positive numbers, but you'll be working with negative integers as well as we're working through this assignment. So people choose these different point values for each turn, and if they get it correct, they get to add those points, and if they miss it, they subtract those number of points. Okay, so you're going to be completing all of this. So I'm going to show you how I set up my page, and the questions are a little confusing on what they ask you to do, but the math isn't that challenging. I think you'll be okay in the math part. Okay, so you have three teams, the Super Brains, SB, Rocket Scientists, RS, and Know-It-Alls, KA. Your first question is, who has the highest and who has the lowest score? So I set that up like this, blank. The highest score belongs to blank, the low score belongs to blank, and you know this because, and you'll need to explain how you know this. And these are their scores that you're comparing. Okay. Next, number 2 says find the difference in points amongst the pairs of teams. So I abbreviated each team to make it quicker and easier for you. So SB compared to RS. So the Super Brains compared to the Rocket Scientist. What is the difference between those 2 points? So if you go from 150 all the way down to 300, what is the difference there? How many do you count to get to these 2 numbers? And then the Super Brains compared to the Know-It-Alls, these 2. And lastly, you want to compare these 2, the Rocket Scientists to the Know-It-Alls, and you just write your answers there. Number 3, you're going to write number sentences of how they could have gotten these scores. So you can use any amount of numbers that you would like. You can use 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, it doesn't matter. So this is Super Brains. Here's one possible way you could write it, equals 300 because that's their score right now. And another possibility of how you could write, arrive at negative 300 for their score. This was negative 2. You can make these both 2, you can make them 3, it doesn't matter. Rocket Scientists, you need 2 number sentences. Number sentences always have either an inequality sign or an equal sign with them. And the Know-It-Alls, you also need 2 sentences. And you might want theirs a little longer since they have negative 500 points. Okay, you ready for part B next? It talks about the current scores. And you're going to start with the current score, and then you're going to go through this process. And you need to write that as a number sentence. So for that one, Super Brains, this is what it tells you to start with. And then these numbers, 200 comes from here, 150 comes from here, and then 50, 50, 50, 50. So I've written this out as one long number sentence, and these blanks are where you put an add or subtract sign. Okay, and then you're going to put a total at the end. You're going to do the same process for the Rocket Scientists and the Know-It-Alls, and the numbers come from here. You have to look to see if they got a correct answer or an incorrect answer and decide which one means adding and which one means subtracting, and then that's how you'll know what sign to put between each of these where the blanks are at before you find your total. Then once you get these totals, you're going to use it for the next part. Same questions as above. With these new scores after this round, who has the highest score, who has the lowest? It does not ask you to explain though. Then you want to compare the 2 teams. Compare the Super Brains to the Rocket Scientists, the Super Brains to the Know-It-Alls, and the Rocket Scientists to the Know-It-Alls. So you want to tell the difference in their scores again for number 3. Find the difference. Okay, mine continues on to the next page. Yours very well may also. In this one, they just want you to answer the question. So they've given you some number sentences and they want you to tell the answers for each one. Except for this last one, they just have a missing value in the middle. So you're just simply going to have a number answer for part C. Once you've done the math, you'll write your numbers here. D is very similar. You have a missing value. to make this number sentence correct. So here's your sentence. You have to put a number in there. The next one, you have to have 3 different possible number sentences that could equal negative 150. So it says you have to use pairs of numbers. So in this case, you must use 2 numbers, but you have to do it 3 different ways to all equal negative 150. Okay, E2, does the order that you add these matter is what they're asking. So yes and no, the order does or doesn't matter because, and you need to explain how you know that the order doesn't matter. And you can give an example or tell words, whatever works for you. Next, you're going to be looking at these 2 people's methods for arriving at an answer to their problem. You want to know who is correct and does it work for other pairs of scores, and explain your reasoning. So yes, Luis is right, or Sam is right, or both, or neither are correct. Yes and no, it works for other pairs because, and just do an explanation of how you know that. You're going to snap a photo as usual of your work, upload it as your assignment, and let me know if you have any questions. This is the first assignment you've done on this activity on negative numbers. So take your time. Please do accurate work. Let me know if you need me.